folder should say and share the. Let me I try to open the. What is the reason? It's very sad that I cannot share here.
I think before this, I already saw your slide.
You see the slide, huh?
Just now.
Oh, so what happened then?
Maybe after you try to maximize,
Yeah, maximize. Maybe that is why I should make it off again.
maybe. Maybe that's the reason.
Maybe I go to the screen windows here. Cannot. This is one cannot. I am opening the what you call the. But trying to share cannot share. Huh? In case if cannot share, then I maybe send to you so you can share from there.
Sure.
Mm.
Or maybe Doctor can share entire screen. The one is another option.
Yeah, actually screen is in the beginning show a screen,
Okay.
and then now try to click screen also cannot share.
Oh.
Yeah, that is. May I share the screen so you can see from there?
Yeah.
Do you see the screen there?
Yes, we can see it.
Maybe you go to screen should be so show the slide. I am showing. This I'm not quite sure. What is the real problem? Okay, let me. I try to send to you through the email. Through the yeah.
Okay. Then
Yeah, through the email so you can share from there.
okay. Let me check my email first. Just let me know if Doctor already sent the email.
Yeah, I'm trying to find your email here. So let me, I just send to you. Okay, I send, maybe you check.
You sent through the UITM email?
Yeah.
Okay. So I try to share it.
Do you got it?
Yes. I try to share.
Yeah, share from there. This is very strange. The screen should show the slide here. In the beginning show, when I click it, then stop. So it's never mind. You just share from there so we can continue. Okay, so it is
This
clear.
one
Yeah, now.
can see this slide.
Uh, maybe you make a presentation mode.
Presentation mode. This one is the presentation mode.
Yeah, not presentation mode. Full screen. I mean.
That means that I already in full screen actually in the screen also.
Oh, then I see the slide here. That
Mm-mm.
is okay. We can present like this also.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so Bismillah again. We start. Our class is two hours class or 1.5.
Yeah, yes, just 2 hours class.
2 hours. Yeah, it should be enough. We are discussing the philosophy here. Our discussion about three main topics. Topic number one is what is philosophy, and also the basic branches of philosophy we will discuss. Of course, that is as our Dr. Hakim said, this is philosophy as art of thinking. So the focus issue of the philosophy is the thinking itself. That means to use the mind itself. The second topic where may we can also highlight a little bit about philosophy of science. Philosophy of science. So these are the content as you see, three topics. And then we, number three, we go to the Islamic philosophy. Okay. So because we also want to fix the concept of philosophy to Islam, because as we know in the history, some Muslim scholars, they try to condemn the philosophy, and then they stop teaching philosophy in the Muslim education system. Of course, philosophy, under philosophy, all the sciences are included. So when you stop philosophy, then all sciences will stop, including even mathematics, which the Quran focus on it so much. Therefore, stop philosophy meant stop of sciences, and that, of course, subsequently led to the decline of the sciences in the Muslim world and also led to the decline of Islamic civilization. because civilization cannot continue without science. And science is a branch of philosophy at that time. Today they are separated, but still they have very close connection. So we will discuss, accordingly, discuss concept of philosophy from Islamic perspective. So these are the three topics. I'm trying to put them in a little bit academic mode so that the student catch up the system, and then after that, when you student being taught by anybody, then they try to put that topic under one of these three topics. Is it under philosophy as general, or under philosophy of science, or it is Islamic philosophy? So this is a very important. Of course, when we go to the philosophy as art of thinking, then 2 points will be addressed there. Point number one is how we think. That means if Quran says think. Afala tatafakkarun. So now we consider thinking is wajib, come from Allah, but the question arises how I think. Just like Quran say pray, sallu. So now question arises how I pray. Okay. The same way also Quran say think, use your mind. Afala tatafakkarun, afala ta'qilun. Quran say like that. So if I want to think how I think, so this question will arise what we call as issue of methodology, the different method of thinking, different method of thinking. This different method of thinking, we divide them into two. One of them is philosophical methods, as I put it here, method of philosophy. And number two is a scientific method. Scientific method, because you are scientist. If you are in mathematics, for example, mathematics is we consider as science of the science. So you need to learn how to think in mathematical way, and then you can shift that to the other sciences. So this is two questions arise when we say how I think. That means we need to be trained how to think. Okay, how to think, just like how you pray, being trained. You are being educated from the tadika up to school time and then university time, then you know how to pray. Yeah. The same also how to think is you need to be trained. But unfortunately, in the Muslim world, usually nobody train us to think. You know, they teach us to pray, but no training for thinking. If we compare the ayat which is asking us to think and the ayat which is asking us to pray, ayat which is asked to think are many. Okay, but due to maybe some historical factors, thinking is totally abandoned. Not only abandoned, but some cases actually there was also being fought against. So if you are thinking, then they consider you are a philosopher, and then nobody approach you. You know. So this is the main reason why science declined in the Muslim world. Why? Because they take up Amr of Quran. Amr is what Quran requested us in the what you call Rukun Iman or Rukun Islam. We took it seriously, but we didn't take the thinking seriously. Thinking requested also by the Holy Quran. So the first issue to be discussed about the philosophy, of course, about the method of thinking. I will not elaborate on this a lot here, but you need to catch up, and then you need to consider for the future. I will mention some philosophical methods. And when we go to the philosophy of science, maybe I also mention some scientific methods. So you have two methods now. Okay? How we think, then there will arise the question of methodology. How many different type of method we have? Two. Number one is philosophical. Okay. Number two is scientific method. Okay, so you must take these two in account, and usually very important when you study and then you know the person who talking to me is in fact he is talking about the methodology, for example. Okay, so you know, not only that, but if you are writing also, the people say, what is your methodology? So what is methodology? So that the question will arise. So we need to address a little bit. Number two about the philosophy here is when I am thinking about what I am thinking, for example, uh, about what? Do I am thinking about my class, about my exam, or about dunya, or about akhirah, about what I am thinking. This is, we call it as the different areas of thinking itself. And this we call it branches of philosophy, the areas of philosophy. Just like you say, I am studying. So somebody asks you what you are studying. And that means the area of study now. So you say, I am studying mathematics or I'm studying biology. This is a different areas of study. Okay. At the same time, study means thinking, of course. Okay. So about what you are thinking, about the maybe a specific area or very general area, like you are thinking about the whole world, for example. Okay, so this will lead us to specify the different areas of philosophy, and later also lead us to specify the different areas of science itself. Science, of course, you right now, you know, science is being divided maybe into biological sciences, physical sciences, mathematical sciences, geographical, biological, astronomy, and so on. So these are the different areas of study. So we consider it is different areas of thinking. Okay, different fields for thinking. But of course, when we take the concept more systematic way, then we can see specific branches. In fact, there are four. I will mention down there. Four branches of philosophy there. And then in the philosophy of science, also we see the basic branches of sciences. Okay, that means different areas for thinking. I am studying mathematics. I am thinking about math. Because now we're taking the order from the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran. Quran says think. So about what I am thinking. Okay. Actually, Quran identified two areas, very broad areas to think. He said that think about yourself and think about the horizon. Horizon here is a natural phenomenon. Okay. في الأرض آيات للموقنين وفي أنفسكم أفلا تبصرون. You cannot see these things. Two areas Quran mentioned here. But of course, when we come to classification of sciences, then we see horizon here is a natural phenomena. Then natural sciences are mainly maybe two basic sciences, that is physical sciences and biological sciences. So both of them give me area of thinking. When we go to philosophy of science, then the first thing is to know exactly what is philosophy of science. Of course, that will follow philosophy, meaning of philosophy. We have two terms here. Philosophy, what is philosophy? That means from the point number one, we already got know what is philosophy. So now the second thing which we need to know is what is science. Because here says philosophy of science. So we want to join both together as two terminologies or as concept. Concept here means philosophy of science. What it means. But of course, if I know what is philosophy and what is science, then I am able to guess what should be the philosophy of science before somebody defined to me. Okay? So that is what we do. And then also we see there the different topics or the what you call subject matter of philosophy of science. This we divide it into two two types. That the issues to be discussed by philosophy of science, we divide them into traditional issues and also new issues, that is a new trends. Because philosophy of science now going to change the issues we discussed earlier by earlier philosophers, now being changed a little bit because new issues come. For example, AI. AI now have, but earlier people they don't have AI. So philosophy of artificial technology is not there at that time. Even many things you have now, earlier scientists don't have. So we need to put them within our philosophy of science. So we discuss. Lastly, then we go to the Islamic philosophy of science. Of course, here we give very broadly the basic idea of Islamic philosophy. Okay. And then we go to the Islamic epistemology. Epistemology is one of the branches of philosophy, actually. Later, we know from the fourth point, when we say what are the basic branches of philosophy, then we have four branches there, including uh, uh, epistemology. Of course, some of them I already mentioned here under Islamic philosophy. So you go to the next one. So these are the three areas which we discuss. Yeah. So here is the main objective of philosophy. Why we need to study philosophy? Okay. I think I mentioned around few of them here. First of all, it will make you ability to think effectively, and also you will be able to engage in scientific inquiry. Because when you are able to think, then naturally you will be engaged, and that's why the kids or the children usually they want to ask everything, even the detail one. Why? Because they are very eager, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already gives them the power of thinking. So their mind is empty, almost empty. So they want to fill up this by getting information. Okay. So when you study philosophy, you should be able to think effectively. Of course, after our this class, your way of thinking should be changed. But I could not say that you are able to think effectively because you need more study. At least one semester you study, so you are able to engage with scientific inquiry effectively or thinking effectively. Number two, also ability to communicate. Communicate here is communicate with the others, engagement with the others. Okay, because to engage with somebody in discussion, you are unable to do so if you don't have how to think, how you can understand what he's saying. Okay, maybe somebody says that why you need to be Muslim. Okay, so to make analysis about this question and return or answer it in very mindful way, then you should have some philosophical study, especially from Islamic perspective. So you are able to at least to defend yourself against being attracted, because maybe some people are very clever, so they attract you to their own religion, by putting this kind of question, especially when they raise question like our sisters taking tudong. So he says, hey, tudong is very very hot, Malaysia is very hot, so why you need to take tudong, and so on. Of course, the initial answer to this kind of question is you just say that, no, I am applying my religion. Please go and follow your religion. No discussion. Tudong is requested by religion. So I am following my religion. Okay, just like Quran say, walakum dinukum waliya din. I have my religion, you have religion. That means in case if you don't have answer which you can attract the person, but you want to defend yourself against his tendency to attack you, to attract you to his views. At least he maybe make you secular person. That means our sisters to go through the tudong altogether, or they were only when you come to the UIA, because they are not convinced from inside. Because religion cannot be religion without internalized. That means without niyat. If I have no real niyat, then religion turn to something else. But with a niyat, I can turn everything to religion. That is our ulama said. Adat. Adat is not ritual duties like eating, like sleeping, like coming to class, like driving. All this we call adat. The second is ibadat. Ibadat is things which I formally do, like salah, som, zakah. Then they said actually adat will turn it to ibadat just by niyat, you know. I am eating, but I do Bismillah and then I do niyat. Then this eating will be ibadah. Because sometimes maybe when I am eating, then something go wrong, then the food is stuck in my throat, so I die. I mati now. So do I am shaheed or I am? What I mean is this is one, of course, but sometimes the more likely is when you are driving. You want to drive, so you never turn this ada is something which is not ibadah. If you say Bismillah, okay, and then you mention the dua ma'thurat of driving, then totally turn to ibadah. Turn it to ibadah. Bismillah subhanalladhi sakhara lana hada wa ma kunna lahu muqrinina wa inna ila rabbina lamunqalibun. This is ayah, of course. This is ayah. But if you forgot all this together, you just say Bismillah. We say Bismillah. That is how we turn it adat to ibadat now. I turn it ada, which is something which has nothing to do with ibadah, but by niyat, I turn it to ibadah. I say this to you, brothers and sisters, in the maybe this context, just to live as a Muslim, not to be a purely Muslim, but in fact you are not Muslim. How I turn my life to Muslim? Unfortunately, maybe I am being cut off. Yeah, I'm being, yeah, maybe there is a call from outside. Do you are, my voice is okay?
Okay, Doctor.
Yeah, I just continue. I go to the adat and ibadat and niyat, but my option or my intention here is about the ability to communicate. Today, we are living in global era and communication is very easy. Right now, somebody calling me from far away, you know. Yeah. So this is a communication. So we need to make ability engagement in communication with others. And of course, engagement here is to convince them about what I believe. What I feel good, I transfer to the others. Definitely, everybody of us believe Islam is the best religion. So we need to transfer this to others, to communicate with others. Okay, and so on. Not only this, but also communicate because of business. Okay, business. I want to do business. Then you need to communicate. Number three, ability to make relevant judgment. Relevant judgment here is about the values. Values, especially moral values. So what is good, what is bad? Then I need to have ability to what we call ability to get the right idea. Okay, right idea that is right way of taking the good values. Of course, as Muslim, our values are being given by Islam itself. What is good and what is bad will determine by the Holy Quran, by the Sunnah. So we just follow. If Sunnah says this is good, then I do. If Sunnah says this is actually Sunnah usually asking us to do. For example, pray. Quran say pray. So praying is good or bad? Of course, somebody say praise, Ya Allah, wake up and pray, Ya Allah. Very difficult, especially during the winter. So it is not good. But we consider no, it is amr. Amr come from Allah, so it is must be good. Of course, we know this is good when we die. Okay, or when you get old. Nene and Ato now they know Salah is good. Okay, even though difficult is good. If Quran says something don't do, that is we call it nehi. Al amru bil ma'ruf wa nahyu anil munkar. This is the core of the ethics or the moral values. So we uh, follow Quran and Sunnah when request us to do something, we do. If they say don't do, abstain, then we stop. Okay, don't commit zina. Zina ourselves like because it is natural part, natural request. But Quran say no, zina will produce illegal babies, or the community will be run in wrong way. Okay, so then we stop. We no need to rationalize even. We just say Quran say no, then no. I, Quran say no, then I stop without even I know the reason. And that's why some Christians try to convince us why we Muslims do not eat the pork, khinzir. Okay, and they try to bring a lot of points to convince us pork is good. But of course, our answer here is not good or bad, but because we are being requested not to eat by the Quran, by our religion. Uh, Issue of good or bad is another issue. But now I am a Muslim, so religion asks me not to do. So don't discuss with me good or bad. Do I am following my religion or not? That is the question. So please go and follow your religion. Let me I follow my religion. So this is the answer. Okay. So moral issues are very important. You have ability to make right judgment, but of course, for us, the judgment comes from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Then last one is appreciating the scientific knowledge. Of course, if you have good philosophical mind, then you are able to engage in scientific inquiry. Today, as we know, students are very difficult to come to class, Right now, if you want to take attendance, or we just give freedom, just like my time, we are in Al-Azhar. Azhar, nobody take attendance. But the people come, students come before Ustaz, maybe half an hour sometimes. We are just go sit there until Imam Ustaz come. And we sit inside in the Charama case. And nobody absent. Even if somebody get absent for any reason, ya Allah, very curious to know what the Ustaz say last class. Yeah, but today I see from my student, mashallah, yeah, they find so many excuse later to get absent. I think the person who called me right now, this also one of my student. I think I will return to him after this. I wrongly agree with him today. He is not feeling well last time. So I asked him to come today around 2 o'clock to take the exam. I totally forgot about my class. Okay, with you. So I will return to him back. Still, maybe I arrange with him maybe coming 2 days to get the exam. Okay. What I mean is during the exam, I discover around, this is half excuse, but I found also 3 others. They get absent. I was surprised, ya Allah, in our time, even though you are in hospital, you come to attend the class, attend the exam. What I mean here is we have no tendency. Of course, I excuse our student today because so many reasons are there. Maybe one of the main reason here is culture of our life. Culture of your life, the focus is not on science, but on the life itself. I want to enjoy the life. I want to take the handphone, which is a smart one, computers, the latest model, driving the car, very good model, and so on. But you don't know this come, in fact, from science. All this technology come from science. And unfortunately, we are Muslim, don't have science, so we import all these things. The best car maybe come from outside. Like Malaysia, of course, already started to develop its own technology here, but we are not so much developed until now, you know. And worse is we import our defense system from outside, you know. So the enemy never give you the good weapon, no, give you the bad one. So when they crack down you, they then crack down. That is what is going on in Palestine right now, is due to lack of knowledge, lack of technology. Okay, but luckily, Alhamdulillah, these guys, even though they are under siege, they were able to do so, and they prove that actually Muslim can do. Okay, Muslim can do what American can do, what the Germans can do. Muslim can do. They prove that. Okay, even more difficult times, they are in under siege. How they do, nobody knows. Even Israel is also bothering, you know, how these guys develop this kind of weapon, and still they are fighting, you know. Very small town like KL only. Qita Gaza is just like area of the KL with Selangor. Very small one. But fighting all the world. Actually, they are not fighting with Israel only. No, they are fighting with the uh, powerful countries. Okay, most powerful countries. Okay, so there is still fighting. This is something like miracle. I think the history will mention this. So, brothers and sisters, to engage in scientific inquiry, you must have some ability to think. Otherwise, then you hate the science. You don't want to come to class. Okay. Yes. Even ustads don't want to go to class, you know, want to go to business. What I mean is this is fact of our time, you know, fact of our time. Yeah, go to the next one. This is the main objective is maybe you go to, yeah, what is philosophy? What is philosophy of science and why mankind need to understand the world? Okay. These are the basic maybe questions. What are the approaches to understand the world and also to interpret its event? Uh, because right now we want to think. When we think, the tool here is a philosophy. Okay. So what is philosophy? We will try to see in the next one. So this one, philosophy, of course, there are different definitions. Okay, various definition. Earlier Greek time, then they say philosophy is a love of wisdom. Hubbul hikmah, they say like that. So what is wisdom? Also, we don't know. Okay. So that one is maybe earlier meaning. Then some others come say, no, philosophy is a rational understanding of the world. So the term world come here again. So when we say world here, usually world is two worlds we have. Seen world and unseen world. Okay, seen world is like whatever we see right now, and this we call it ontology. Ontology. For example, not seen world, sorry, epistemology. Epistemology is the down one, is a seen world. Whatever we can detect, then this is, of course, a science will play a role here. The first one is a metaphysical world. Okay, metaphysical world. Metaphysics in philosophy they call ontology. Ontology is one of the branch of philosophy, and epistemology is the second branch. There is two other branch, axiology and also logic. We see them later. These are the areas of thinking. Okay. So if you want to think now to understand the world, that is the meaning of the thinking, then maybe you think about the ontology. Ontology here is a metaphysical world. Maybe you think about, hey, what is going on after I die? Of course, Islam already answers this question for you. But if you put this to the maybe Buddhist or to Indo, you have here Malaysia, alhamdulillah, multicultural and multi-religious. So if you put this question, where the people go when they die, then you bring three people: Malay, who is Muslim, and then Indian, who is Indo, and then we bring maybe Chinese, Buddhist. So you bring them and put the same question to them, then they will answer in different way because they follow their teachings. So this is ontology. That is a different being. The being itself could be different. For example, we are Muslim. Our ontology, of course, this includes maybe life after her Qiyamah, concept of God. Allah is there, concept of Malaika, concept of Shaitan. All these are the ontological questions or unseen world. So this is one of them. Epistemology is the seen world. This is a physical world. Of course, this is a science. So the number one here, rational understanding of the world. So this is the two different areas to understand them. Okay, philosophy try to approach ontology, but usually human mind has no ability to bring the realities. Here we need help of divine. We need help of wahi. Wahi teach us. Okay, like our case, wahi, Quran, Sunnah teach us what should be happening after death. But if you want to use your mind, mashallah, you get lost. And that is why Muslims do not discuss ontology. Okay, and that's why Imam Ghazali consider discussing ontology is maybe lead to kufr, because maybe you conclude wrong way of Islam, wrong way from the Quran. Okay, that is why the whole philosophy rejected, because Imam Ghazali condemned the philosophers when they do ontology. So this point is important. I need to elaborate when go down, when I go to the branches of philosophy. Brother, go up a little bit, Doctor. Yeah. So point number 2 is the most important. Usually I go slowly like that because, yeah. So second meaning, first meaning is what? Actually, I already mentioned two meanings. Meaning number 1, philosophy is love of the wisdom. I didn't elaborate that one because very old one, and this is Greek time one. Second is a rational understanding of the world. Of course, we interpret the world into two areas, ontology and epistemology. The third meaning here, philosophy is a systematical approach to answer the fundamental questions. Systematic, may you underline it. And then fundamental questions. It should be with S. Questions, not question. Huh? Brother, maybe you remove the full screen because this one is, you put S there, just correct. Yeah, put S there. Okay. So then save, because this will be maybe, you turn it to PDF and then distribute among your students. Huh? Yeah, you share with them. So now we need to know 2 points here. Of course, this is the definition which I choose. That is, philosophy is a systematic approach to answer the fundamental questions. So the third systematic maybe need to be elaborated a little bit, and also fundamental questions. Systematic here is not haphazard. No, it is that is the method which we mentioned earlier. That is methodology. You study, try to answer this question based on a specific methodology. Okay, so that one is might be clear. But number 2 is more difficult. What are the fundamental questions? Brothers and sisters, fundamental questions are many questions, including whatever arise in our mind. But we summarize them into 3 questions. Okay, 3 fundamental questions. And that's why in philosophy they have normal questions and fundamental questions. Okay, so fundamental question number 1 is from where does this universe come? Okay, yes, from where does this universe come? This is question number 1. Question number 2, why we are here? What is the purpose of being here in this world? Okay, purpose of life, purpose of being. Question number 1, we call it question about the origin of being, origin of the universe, origin of life. Question number 2 is the purpose of life. Question number 3 is about final destination, where we are going after this life. When I die, where I go. Of course, this question for you as Muslim already being answered, so you know the answer. But I am putting for the humanity, all the humanity. So these three questions usually are very important, and then we philosophy try to answer them in very detailed manner. Okay, this is we call it fundamental questions. Normal questions are the question about the physical world. Then the science will carry on. So science try to answer those questions. So if I put in your mind, what is a scientific question? Okay, scientific questions are the normal questions. Normal questions. That means the question which you have definite answer. We can get the answer sooner or later. This is we call it normal question. Normal question has an answer, and that is will done by science. Okay. Uh, Fundamental questions are the question which have no definite answer from our part. Of course, may we get from divine. We can get from Wahi the answer. But the people usually don't have a common answer. People are different. Okay. From where we come to answer this question, there is different theories. Okay. Philosophy answers this question. Of course, religion also answers this question. Why we are here also, science don't have any answer to this. Okay. About the biology, for example. Okay. Some creatures got just come for a few minutes and go. So what is the purpose of their life? Few hours or few days and go. For example, mosquito. So mosquito, how long mosquito life and what is the purpose of its life? So these are the questions which science no answer. But who answers them? It is philosophy or religion. Religion answers this question. Third question, where we are going. This also science have no question. Science say the world may be going to end, but what should be after end of the world, then science don't have answer. But the philosophers can speculate, but the best answer usually come from religion, as in our case. So brothers and sisters, fundamental questions are three. What are they? From where we come, why we are here, and where we are going. So I'm asking brother uh, doctor to put this as question as question. I go to the next slide. Okay, so these are the three ways to answer the three fundamental questions: philosophy, religion, and science. Actually, human life is based on this. Okay, you have philosophy, maybe you use, we didn't use, but still there should be. And then you have religion, and then we have science. So this area is the way to answer those fundamental questions. For example, if we took science, then we go to the fundamental questions. How science answer the first question? Yes, from the student, I need answer. Of course, the first question is, what is this first question? I give you the answer about this, but you need to give the answer about how science answers that question. First question is, from where we come? From where this universe come? Yes, somebody knows how science answers this question? Yeah. But actually, brother Rizwan, alhamdulillah, he is a very, alert person, and he put right question. Okay, right answer. Yes, the others, you saw what brother Rizwan said. Yeah, he said Big Bang theory. You see, the scientist said the world, the universe came because of the Big Bang theory. Okay. Yes. Then we maybe go to the religion. How Islam answers the same question. Yes, somebody may write. Yeah, science say Big Bang. Of course, before Big Bang, they have the other theories, but they change it, and now they bring to us Big Bang now. But maybe future also they develop new new theory. We don't know. Even though Big Bang actually is still accepted. We go to Islam. How Islam answers the first question? Somebody knows? Okay, if you don't know, then maybe go to the same question, because when we say how this universe come, then we have two things in mind. Number one is the whole universe, that is of course Big Bang theory, but more difficult question arise to the scientist, that is how the life come on this on this universe, and specifically in the planet Earth. Life, living creatures, from where come? And why there are so many? You know, how the science answers this question? Yes, anybody knows? Brother Rizwan, Alhamdulillah, got perfect, perfect. You already get 10 mark for the first question. That is Big Bang theory. Yeah, think about the another theory about the life. Somebody knows? I already giving the hint now. Yeah. Somebody? Brother Hafizul, you want to say anything? Asri? That is, yeah, say human evolution. This is Brother Faizul or what? I didn't get the name. Full name is what? Yeah, brother say human theory. Human theory. What is that? That human theory? Human evolution, sorry, he said. It is human evolution or the evolution only? It is just evolution. Evolution theory. Yeah. The second question is, or second answer about the lies is evolution theory. Actually, our brother is correct. Evolution theory is a theory which try to answer the second question: how life come, and also uh, diverse world, how it is come. Then they bring the concept of evolution. Okay, of course, this is very important theory. I think you are as mathematician, you are related to all sciences, so you need to study these two theories. Right now, you know generally, but I am requesting you to go and study in detail. Okay, in detail, because you are mathematician, you are requested to deal with all these sciences. Okay, yes, all these sciences. For example, I ask you to make modeling about the evolution of human being. Okay, so I ask you uh, to model this, to develop a model for this, and where should be the future, to predict the future. If we accepted the concept of evolution, then human is still evolving actually. Human not stop, no, going. That means going to what they call as Superman. So you can deal with it. So, brother Dr. Hakim, maybe go to the next one. This is just to touch your mind so you are able to. Yeah, these are the methods of philosophy. We say that the methodology, we have two types: philosophical method and also scientific method. Here I just brought the philosophical one because these are so much not so familiar, not it is familiar with you. Okay, so I bring some of them, but not all of them. Number one is what you call as inquisitive method. Inquisitive here is asking questions. And earlier Greek philosophers, usually they ask questions to develop knowledge. For example, they come and say that, tell me what is philosophy. Okay, so you give the different options about what is philosophy, and then they criticize whatever you mention, and finally they develop the best definition about what is philosophy. Okay, So this is inquisitive. Quran also put these questions as one way to develop knowledge. Okay. Uh, Number two is what they call as dialectic. This is almost the same method of the inquisitive, but this one is uh, like dialogue, take and give, take and give. So this is one of the philosophical approach, and this Quran follow this one, discussing with other religions. Okay, if you say this, I say this. Okay, then we have rationalism, we have empiricism that is based on, and then we have analytic, and also we have holistic. Of course, if we want to study this method in detail, that is will take so long time. So you just generally know that the philosophers do this to develop their knowledge. Go to the next slide. Yeah, these are the, I think these are the most important for you as beginners and as a student of philosophy of science or of philosophy. These are the basic branches of philosophy. Philosophy touch four basic areas. Whatever he do, usually come to these four areas. Area number one is ontology, and this is I already mentioned. This is about the being. So here maybe they discuss the nature of being first. Nature of being here means, do the world is whatever we see, or there should be some unseen creatures or unseen entities. Okay, they put that question. Of course, the concept of shaitan, the concept of hantu. Okay, this concept is a mental concept, but nobody has ability to prove there is hantu. Okay, but for us, we are Muslim. No, we confirm it by wahi. Wahi tell us there is shaitan. Not only shaitan, but also there are malaika. You know, malaika, the unseen world is there, and they are actively doing their own job. Okay, and Quran teach us what the malaika's job. Some of them are writing our deeds, some of them do this, do that. That means that knowledge is totally metaphysical knowledge, which is about the being, you know, about the things to be. Of course, even the God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we cannot see, but we detect by our evidence which we see. So this is ontology, origin and objective of the world. Okay, so this is almost the same question of the fundamental questions. Epistemology, the second branch. I should put the number so you can follow from ontology. I think in the down below I put it in more detail way. So these are the four: ontology. Then number two is epistemology. Epistemology is theory of knowledge. Theory of knowledge. In Islam, we have very broad idea about this. And this theory of knowledge usually discuss around 4 or 5 topics. Okay. Topic number one is, what is knowledge? That is definition of knowledge. And then a lot of debate is about this. Topic number two of the epistemology is sources of knowledge. Sources from where we get know. For example, scientists, they say we get knowledge from the nature and also from our mind. Then the sources of knowledge for them are two. That is the mind, reason, and also the nature. But in our case also we have Quran, Sunnah, or Wahi, a source of knowledge. So we have three, but for scientists they have only two resources. Epistemology also discuss the issue of methodology. Okay, issue of method. What is the best method to acquire the knowledge or to get the true knowledge? Okay. Number four is the objectives of knowledge inquiry. When we go to axiology here is a theory of values. Actually, I forgot to mention epistemology means theory of knowledge. Okay, you are beginner, then epistemology means what? Epistemology means theory of knowledge. So this theory of knowledge discuss at least four things I mentioned here. Sometimes a five, maybe. Okay. But when we go to axiology is theory of values. Value. Okay. So value, usually they give around maybe three categories of values. Okay. Number one is cultural values, or what we call as economic value. For example, what is the price? Price go up. That means it is culturally or according to our needs. Then this car, for example, cars has value. Okay, gold originally has a value. So this is economic value. Number two, what they call aesthetic values. That is the beauty of the value of the beauty, beautiful things. And this beauty here means things related to the shape, to the color. Okay, some people like triangle, some people like square, and so on. So this is, we call it aesthetic values. And usually in Muslim world, we do not teach this, except maybe in the very rare cases. But in some countries, earlier in Islamic history, they study this. Okay, static values are being used. We call it qiyam jamaliya, including voice also, singing, for example. Okay, or reciting Quran. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. Okay, وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ آمين. So this is voice. So we call it madda here, berapa kali, for example, 4 kali, 5 kali, 6. That is the method which you are being taught in the tilawah. Tilawah. If you go to tilawah, then you learn the rules, how to read correctly, and also how you are able to do. So when I say walad, walad, walad dalin, I mean, then you see, you feel something wrong. That means I didn't make it long. Long here is walad dalin. Nam kali, nam point. And so what I mean here is to study this also include in the aesthetic values, voice value. Of course, music people, they know this more better. Last one, I put it here, number two. Actually, I didn't mention the economic value because economic value is everybody knows. But I put only aesthetic values and also moral values. Moral values are the value which is related to our act and behaviors. And this is what we call akhlaq now. That means what is good and what is bad morally. And this is in Islam, we call it ma'ruf and munkar. Munkar. What is munkar and what is ma'ruf? Who determines this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So moral values in Islamic system is totally determined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so nobody has ability to do so. What is munkar, Allah will determine. What is ma'ruf, Allah will determine. Okay, so the moral values. But when you go to the convention or other communities or other cultures, maybe they determine the good and bad based on what they call as benefits and harms. Something benefit me is morally bad. Something harming, benefiting me morally good. Something benefiting me morally good, yes. Something harming me morally bad. Islam sometimes this brings this, but not necessarily brings this. Only Allah tell us don't do this, then we stop. For example, when Quran said don't drink alcohol. Quran give justification. Quran has the alcohol and gambling some benefits. Some benefit, but the ithim or the sin is very big sin. That is why morally it is not good to gambling, even though you maybe get money. Or when you drink alcohol, then you know how to do mathematics. Perfect. The answer get perfect. Do I drink? No, because Quran already say yes. Ada manfaat sikit, but sin is banyak. Why? Because maybe I drink to solve certain equation. Yes, I solve my problem, but because I get unwise, so I kill my friend also. See, ini banyak. Ini masalah now. I solve the problem, but I commit dangerous problem. Dangerous problem. That is killing. Okay, or drink drive way. Maybe I kill myself because I get accident, and so on. This is what Quran say. Ada manfaat sikit, but there is big sin. Yeah, big sin. So moral values, brothers and sisters. The summary is moral values. We just follow Quran Sunnah, follow Sharia. Sharia say no, then we stop. Branch number 4 of philosophy here is logic. Of course, logic is the most important. I believe that Muslims should study logic even though they abandon all branches. Branches number 1, ontology or the metaphysics. Usually this is Quran gives the answer. So Muslim no need to study this anymore. Okay, ontology. Okay, if you study just to reconfirm what Quran teach us, because Quran teach us all. Axiology also, no need to study as Muslim because Quran give us what is good and what is bad. Only 2 branches of philosophy we need to study in detail. That is epistemology and logic. Imam Ghazali believes that actually logic should be what you call compulsory course. Imam Ghazali usually he said that 2 or 3 courses should be compulsory course for all Muslim children. Okay. Course number 1 is Quran. Teaching Quran is compulsory. Of course, this may include also memorization. Memorization besides the teaching. Course number 2, according to Imam Ghazali, is mathematics. Okay, mathematics is the common course for all Muslims, regardless the area which you study. So Muslim today they never study mathematics. When I'm teaching the other course, which we call it Fara'id is a distribution of the wealth, and this is of course based on mathematics. So without mathematics, you cannot distribute the wealth. And we call it as a mathematical data in the Holy Quran. So when we study, the student surprised, they say, "Do this is really mentioned by the Quran?" And they develop very difficult equations to solve. Okay, yeah, very difficult one. This is in Mawaris we call it, or Faraid in Arabic they call Faraid, Ilmul Faraid. Okay, this is in Quran. In Quran, so you cannot believe that Quran includes a lot of mathematics, and that's why actually Al-Khwarizmi was able to develop algebra, because algebra is a matter of equation to get the missing value. Okay, so it was the best knowledge. So this is subject number 2, which Imam Ghazali believes that the Muslim children will study. Number 1 is Quran, teaching of the Quran. Number 2 is a mathematics. Number 3 is a logic. Imam Ghazali believe number 3, logic. Logic is a proper use of the mind. Okay, and usually based on what we call inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. So I'm sure maybe you are not being taught what is deductive and what is inductive. It takes time if I want to explain to you and give examples, but maybe I make it short so you are able to take it. Maybe you listen to this video or this, our brother, I'm not sure who is recording or not, Dr. Hakim, but if you recorded this session, then you can share with the students so they can remember and study. What is inductive? Inductive is we say that individual observations leading to the general conclusion. Individual observations leading to the general conclusion. That means I observe one until I develop the general conclusion. General conclusion here stand for what we call theory. Theory means what? For example, biology said uh, all the reptiles, not reptile, the other one which produce milk is what? So they observe one by one until they come to the theory. They say all birds are fly. Every bird fly. Why? Because they see by observation. Okay. Or they say all the human female give birth in 9 months. Then how they come to this conclusion? When you say all human, okay, human female give birth in, because they saw by observation. Observe the first lady, second lady. Maybe you see your sister, your aunt, your mom, all give birth in 9. So you come to that conclusion. So we consider this is individual observation leading to general conclusion. What general conclusion here? Okay, general conclusion here is to say all human female. Okay, so that is the general conclusion. So how you say all? Yes, I got it by observation of the individual people one by one. Then I come. Of course, this is the way which you do science. Usually, you observe one by one. Deductive reasoning is the opposite. Okay, that is a general knowledge which lead to the specific knowledge. General knowledge. Example is, let us say your class here, Ustaz Hakim, Dr. Hakim knows that the class student who register for this course is 45 students. Then now you are attending this session, then he got the attendance. So only 42 students signed it. So how he conclude? He conclude that 3 students are absent. How you conclude this? Because I have my class, that is a general. General here is all number of students is 45. But now I have only 42. So that definitely means 3 orang are missing. Of course, this mathematics is very clear. But the philosopher usually gives an example which is more general than this. So this is a deductive. Deductive go from general to specific. Actually, the ahkam al-Quran, ahkam al-Sharia, usually deductive, not inductive. Why? Because Quran said that for everything which is intoxicating the mind, then it is a khamr and it is haram. So all here, maybe Quran only mentioned alcohol, but he didn't mention any other cases. But you have the general rule. General rule here is anything intoxicate the mind, then it is khamr and it is haram. So if I drink anything, not alcohol, but I intoxicated, I lost my mind, then I come to conclusion that it is haram. It is haram. No need to drink. Maybe don't say that. No, this is the Quran didn't mention. Quran mentioned alcohol only. Alcohol sahaja. No, because our Prophet said in Hadith, anything intoxicate the mind, then it is khamr, and khamr is haram. This we call it inductive reasoning now. So if you are mufti, then you follow inductive method. If you are scientist, then you follow inductive. If you are mufti, deductive. Deductive means you have general rules to apply a specific case. Okay. I go to next. I worry maybe people already sleep. MashaAllah. The number is going down. Some people are missing. This is just basic philosophy branches. I already mentioned, so no need to stop here. You just read by yourself. Go to the next. Yeah, this is now we go to philosophy of science. Of course, we put number 2 because we consider number 1 is a philosophy. So number 2 here is philosophy of science. Number 3 will be philosophy of religion. So meaning of philosophy of science. Of course, first question is what is science? Okay. Science is systematic study of the natural phenomena or observable phenomena. Of course, science usually they put in two ways, two contexts. Science number 1 means the verifiable knowledge of the observable world. Verifiable knowledge of the observable world. That means unobservable world is not included. Until observable, we can change it into a physical also can. That means seen world. That means we are trying to exclude unseen. That is ontology or metaphysics is not part of science. So what is science? You say science used in two contexts. Number 1, science means verifiable knowledge of the natural world, verifiable knowledge of the physical world, verifiable knowledge of the observable world. So all this correct. Even the term verify also we can change it to measurable. Measurable knowledge of the observable world. Measure that means I am able to measure. For example, boiling of water, I am able to measure. Somebody get angry, I cannot measure. My iman, how high is it? I cannot measure. So is it science? No, it is not science. Why? Because simply I cannot measure. I cannot verify. If I say my iman, mashallah, very low, but brother Dr. Hakim, iman very high. So you are able to measure? No, cannot. But if I say my blood pressure is high, you can measure. You can measure. So blood pressure is science, but iman or anger is not part of science. Maybe we try to develop some kind of method to measure, but so far we don't have. So it will be outside of science until we find a way to measure. When we are able to measure, then it will include in science. That's why we say, what is science? Science is used in two contexts. What are they? Science is measurable knowledge of the observable world or verifiable knowledge. Verifiable here means I am able to prove right or wrong. Okay, and so on. So this is context number. Context number 2 is the first, which I mentioned, that is systematic inquiry of the knowledgeable of the physical world. Verifiable knowledge of the physical inquiry. That means a method. That means science is as knowledge or science as method of inquiry. Okay. So now when we go to the philosophy of science, of course, we already philosophy make definition. If you remember the last definition, which I said, philosophy means systematic study of the world, or systematic study of the answering fundamental questions. So here we can say philosophy of science is a science which or the discipline which aim to systematically study the scientific methods, systematical study of scientific methods. Systematic study of the theoretical issues of science. So systematic is always there. Okay. Of course, there is also different uh, definition for philosophy of science. Okay. Then we have common issues. We will see these are the issues which we need to study them systematically. I will show you later. And then the basic branches of modern science. And finally, the nutrients. So go to the next one. I worry maybe some already get boring and go. MashaAllah. Yeah. Philosophy is a sleepy science. Huh? For scientists, makes them sleepy because touching the mind only. And usually our mind after 15 minutes then get already tired. That is why the people leave, secretly go. Luckily, that is the best of the online class. Yeah, you just go, nobody knows where you are. But of course, we detect the number, then we see, mashallah, some people gone. Okay, our leader, so these are the common issues of the philosophy of science. Number one, theoretical matters of science, and number two, conceptual analysis. For example, what is science? This is, we call it theoretical matter. Okay, theoretical matter, and also conceptual. What is science is a concept. Critical examination of scientific methods, okay, and also hypotheses and the assumptions. Development of theories, objective objective of scientific inquiry, why you acquire knowledge. It is philosophy of science, not science. Scientific explanation, the different methods to explain the science. Okay, and then we have causal interpretation. That means to interpret based on cause and effect system. Okay, so these are the. I'll go to the next one. These are branches of sciences or basic fields of sciences. Of course, you have so many different sciences, but we divide this based on the methodology. Which one is more complex, and which one is less complex? So, philosophy of science try to put this question and then try to classify the sciences into these three basic areas. So, first one is the natural sciences. They consider natural sciences are less complex. Less complex. That means I am able to measure without difficulties. Just like what I mentioned about the boiling of water, then I can measure. Do I have some problem there? No, I can measure. Only I need maybe heat, thermometer only, and water. These are the three ingredients. Then I'm able to measure in which degree the water boil. It is easy to measure. But as I mentioned, boiling of my heart, mashallah, I get angry. So my heart is boiling inside. Do you are able to measure? It is very hard. So that one, maybe we come to the humanities. Humanities is immeasurable. It's very difficult to measure. And that is why scientists, they consider humanities and social sciences are not sciences. And that's why they never put science with these two terms earlier. Now they put it, of course. Why? Because they redefine the concept of science. Because we say the science is defined in two. That means measurable knowledge or systematic way to get the measurable knowledge. So systematic way here is the method. So not the knowledge itself. So in that case, then we consider social science also science. Then how we measure? They say we can make a survey, for example. Survey. For example, I want to develop, or I want to conduct this class. So I want to make sure do student like this class or not. Okay. So what I do, I make survey now. Okay. So when I do survey, then the majority say I like. So I conclude that they like, correct or not? Yeah. That is the way how I am getting measurable now, how I measure the human knowledge. So to get the view of person is a human science, human science. So you are unable to measure except by developing some kind of measurement tools. And that's why we develop now different software to measure this kind of things, like SPSS, the other models which you are do in mathematics. Mathematics is a measure, actually, is the way you are able to measure this. And that is now, brothers and sisters, statistical knowledge is becoming very, very popular, because now the people already mastered the natural sciences and now coming to the human sciences, Yeah. But as a Hakim, if you want to go to the parliament and you want to know, do people like you or not? Then you have some kind of mathematical analysis to conclude. Of course, so far we don't have. Okay, so far we don't have. What I mean here is uh, more difficult in the humanities and social sciences rather than natural sciences. Natural sciences are measurable. Why? Because they are natural. Human intervention is not there. And that's why we are able to measure. Of course, this is the physical sciences and biological sciences. These are we consider measurable. But don't forget, biological science is also more difficult. Okay? Biological stuff to measure. Measure means I am able to measure, number one. I am able to understand, number two. And number three, I am able to predict. This is the three things which we deal with science. That means I understand, I measure, understand, and predict. So if I cannot predict, then they consider not science. Not science. Therefore, when we bring the physics we are able to predict. But biology is not so precise. Just like what example I give, a lady give birth. Lady give birth in 9 months. But exactly what what date, we don't know. Any biological factor, so we are unable to. Generally, we know, but not fixed like physical things. No, physical is fixed. Okay? If I am driving, I am sending missile from Earth to the moon in a specific speed, I can predict exactly the moment we should land there. This is physics. Physics. But if in biology, of course, I cannot predict. Maybe predict generally, but statistically. Statistical here means maybe 90%, 95%, and so on. Okay, and that's why statistics now coming very, very general. And I hope, inshallah, that means you are able to develop theories, and also you are able to you are able to make models. Model means you are able to predict and also to able to measure also. Okay, that is mathematics is now sciences of science. So brothers and sisters, based on their methodology, we divide them maybe into three. In fact, there are four here, because even physics also we have physical, natural sciences also we have physical and biological. They are natural, but biology is more complex than physics. Physical phenomena. Then we have humanities. Of course, humanity I already give examples. And then the more complex is social phenomena. Social phenomena. And that's why by political people suffer a lot, because the people, when they got to protest, they don't know. When they go to protesting, what they should do also, we don't know. Maybe they start to get violent and then crack down everything and so on. Okay. So, brothers and sisters, this is the basic fields of science. Go to next one. I worry maybe we already people get tired. We give some also. These are the new trends of. We have traditional one. That means the topic of philosophy of science traditionally, scientists study. Maybe we have traditional one here is. I think the hand light is very small for me. Maybe let me I see from my own one here. Number one is a conceptual analysis. Okay, to analyze a concept, like concept of philosophy, concept of philosophy of science, concept of theory. To make analysis, this they consider traditionally it is a topic of philosophy of science. To explain here means something event happened, so you want to explain about the causes of this and so on. So this is we call it validation. Validation is to prove it is correct or not correct, or right or wrong. Correct or not correct, true or false actually, because this term is used in different ways. For example, for ethical, we usually use good and bad, but in science, we use uh, true or false. So to prove, that is to validate. Validate against what we call um, measurement. Falsification. Also, it is very old idea, and this is usually the term falsification used by one of the philosophers. His name is Karl Popper. Falsification means to give the counter evidence to the theory, not the evidence. To prove theory, usually we need evidence to prove. But Karl Popper, he said, no, we need to bring the evidence which against the theory itself. Against the theory itself. So in that case, then if I cannot do, then I prove. I give maybe very simple example. You believe that your class, all of them are from School of Mathematics. That is your belief. Okay? Your belief. Or you believe that all these mathematic students, they like this class. So how I'm able to prove this theory? So this is my belief. My belief here is the theory. So how I prove? There is two ways to prove. Number one, to provide evidence. Number two, to provide counter evidence. Counter evidence and evidence. So let us say go to the evidence. Evidence is just to ask them, to survey them one by one. Maybe I go to the student number one. Do you like my class? Yes. Tick. Yes. I followed number two, number three, up to 40 students. All they say I like. So I conclude that a student like my class. This is, we call it providing evidence. Providing evidence. So what is the meaning of providing counter evidence? Counter evidence is to say who dislike my class. That is a counter. Maybe if just one student finger up, then we consider my theory is not valid because at least one student don't like my class. This is, we call it counter evidence. And this is what Karl Popper as falsification of theory. A theory is a general statement. When we go to the new trends, brothers and sisters, these are now coming and they are trying to apply more. Of course, the first thing is unification of sciences or the method of scientific inquiry. As we mentioned in the previous slide, then we have, there is physical sciences, we have biological, behavioral sciences, that is the humanities, and then social sciences. Do the method which we apply to all these four areas is the same? Earlier is not, because some of these sciences are not measurable. We are unable to measure. That is why we consider it is not science. For example, behavioral sciences. Okay, that is the humanities. I want to predict what where you should go after this class. Where you should go. I want to predict. Like physical one. Of course, that's very difficult to predict, even though I need a lot of information to predict. Okay, maybe some information, previous one, maybe I ask, do you already sudah makan? Okay, so if you say belum, then I maybe conclude that may you go to canteen. Okay, if you say no, belum lagi, then I consider you are going to canteen. If you say sudah, then maybe I predict that you will not go to canteen. But of course, it's also not absolute because maybe your friend tag you. Okay, but your friend say, I'm not eat yet. Please come to me. You take the tare, I will makan. So you go with him. So my believe that you will not go to canteen, not true, because I don't have information that actually you have friend who not eat yet. So you go. So what I want to put in your mind here, these four sciences, to make a prediction or to conclude is not easy, not the same, not measurable. Physical measurable, biological measurable, but less. Behavioral is even much less. Social is very difficult. Social here means the activities which people do in group, like election, like stock market. Okay, so this or the business in general, economic in general. What should be the Malaysian economic in next year? Very difficult to predict because it is social phenomena, and so on. So these are earlier they tried to say no, we consider some of them science, some of them not science. But now they want to unify them. They want to say all of them should be studied. And then they bring the concept of holistic and analytic approach. That is two different sciences they want to. And then number three, complex and dynamic systems. This also new. System biology, new. Philosophy of computational sciences, also this new. Earlier, they don't have this. Right now, we have issues of information technology and also artificial intelligence issues. So all these are the new trends. Okay. So if you are teaching philosophy of science, not only focus on the old issues like conceptual analysis or explanation, still these are available, but you need to add the new issues. I'll go to the next slide. Yeah, this is my own slide. That is why I'm getting stuck here. Yeah, this is Islamic philosophy. Of course, Islamic philosophy we are already practicing, but without getting awareness. The first question here is question about the thinking. The Holy Quran requesting us to think, but we already put the question. Then how we think? How we think? Of course, the one way to think properly is to study logic, and also even mathematics, and generally philosophy. When you study philosophy, then you know how to think. Number two is how Islam answers the fundamental questions. Fundamental questions are three I already mentioned, and we give example how science answers the first question. Okay, but here, of course, Islam tries to answer all these questions. Number one, from where we come. Number two, why we are here. Number three, where we are going. Go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is the Islamic worldview. When we answer the fundamental questions, usually the Islamic worldview will establish. So Islam, as we know, divide the whole entire being into God and the creatures. Creatures divided into man and nature. So man has relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with the nature. Okay. Nature also has relationship with God and with man. So the arrow which go from man to God and from God to man, usually we consider man, according to the Islamic teachings, he is Khalifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the same time, he is also Abid. That means man need to perform two things. Two things. Number one, he is act as Khalifa, and number two is he act as Abid, Ibadah, do Ibadah. Okay. Man related to nature by what we call taskhir. Taskhir, that means capability for using. That means nature is capable to use by the man, but at the same time also amana. Amana, not to misuse, not to bring the animals and just kill them, or go to the jungle and then just cut the tree, destroy them. No, it is amana to you. Of course, this idea is very, very important to our life today when the uh, natural world is suffering for the human activities. Okay, so we need to bring these Islamic teachings to put in the mind that nature is amana to us, so we need to keep it, but to use also, to use. Okay. Number when we go from nature to God, the what Islam teach us here, the relationship here is tasbih. That means the nature always do tasbih to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but at the same time, God do taqdir to the nature. That means nature is being measured in a specific. And this is maybe very clear when we go to chemistry. We see everything in the nature is very measured in terms of it is structure, and also measure it in terms if it is amount. So this is very clear. Science tell us. Quran put this concept earlier, but we never use it. We never get aware of it. Go to the next. I think time is almost going to. So this is a relationship. Epistemology, we already mentioned epistemology, discuss around 4 or 5 topics. It is the same. Conventional epistemology and Islamic epistemology discuss the same topics. But of course, the concept or the idea is different. For example, meaning of knowledge here, we as Muslim, we bring knowledge of God also. That means God also knows. We know, God also know. That is the basic division of the knowledge here, knowledge of God and knowledge of human being, or knowledge of the creatures. Okay, so we believe that all knowledge also come from God, because Allah designed our mind and make it capable to understand. When we go number 2, sources of knowledge, of course, I already mentioned that knowledge from science perspective, sources of knowledge are only 2. That is the nature, okay, the natural phenomena, and also reason, aql. Aql is the 2 sources. But in Islam, we add one more, that is revelation, wahi. Wahi is Quran than Sunnah. Method of inquiry here is not so much different. It is the same way. That means we follow the scientific way to acquire knowledge, except maybe when we go to Quran and Sunnah, then the method is different. Classification of knowledge also not so much different. But here, we Muslim, we have sciences which are not available in the conventional way. For example, the Islamic teachings, okay? Yeah, Islamic teachings are not found there. We have Quran, we have Sunnah, we have this, we have fiqh, we have this, and so on. Objective of knowledge inquiry, of course, there are different objectives, but the main objective of knowledge inquiry from Islam is to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through his created world. That is the final result. But of course, beside that also we need to know so that we are able to develop our life and make development for human community. Okay, go to the next one. Next slide. Yeah, this is just summary of the above one. We make tawhid in the middle, because every of these methods which we have mentioned are related to the unity of God. Allah is one, and God gives us our knowledge, and also we study the nature and ourselves to know him more better, even though we by knowledge we are able to manage our life and also to develop our communities. Go to the next one. I think that will be the end. Okay, I think that is a slide which our brothers looking for. Alhamdulillah, Sudahabis, our brothers and sisters. So thank you very much for your listening and attention. 2 hours striking the mind without complaining. Some of you already complained. That means they already leave. They already ran away. But I thank you very much for those who are tolerate this difficult. And this course, of course, this is slide around maybe 20 plus, or less than 20, around 19 or 18. Usually I teach them almost 1 semester, you know. The whole semester I summarize to you only in 2 hours. So thank you very much. Just to summarize, No need to go to the details. Maybe you re-listen to this record if it is recorded, or to study the slide. But you focus just on the three topics which I mentioned. What is philosophy? What is philosophy of science? And philosophy from Islamic perspective. Only 3 points. Of course, the major idea here is the branches of philosophy. That is a three or four actually. Number one is ontology. Number two is epistemology. Number three, axiology, theory of moral values, of values, and then lastly, logic. So if you got this, then you can develop your knowledge slowly, slowly. If there is any problem arise, then we will be in contact, inshallah. Thank you very much again. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Dr. Ibrahim Sugar.
Yeah, actually, you can give a Q&A session in case if there is any question.
Yes. So I open for Q&A session if any one of you want to ask at least one question. At least one question. Ask Dr. Ibrahim. Okay. Any question? They keep giving love.
Yeah, because philosophy, no question. Philosophy, philosophy, and first question, first class, usually very difficult.
Yes.
And don't forget, questioning is one of the method of philosophy I mentioned. Yeah, even I put it first. Philosophical question. Put question.
Okay.
Mm.
So for this recording, I will put it in some online storage. Then I share with Dr. Ibrahim also.
Yeah. I hope so. I can receive because sometimes during talk, maybe some concept go wrong also. So yeah, in case if I listen to it, then I can correct it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think maybe there is no question from the student. So thank you, Dr. Ibrahim, for the nice sharing. I think the one is very compact. Okay, like you said, one semester in 2 hours.
Yeah, true.
Of course,
It's,
if we have any opportunity on the future, maybe we can invite Dr. Ibrahim
yeah,
again to explain more about this one. Kan?
inshallah.
Okay, so I think before we end our class for today, can our my student open your camera so we can take some picture with Dr. Ibrahim? Okay. Uh, okay. Open your camera. So this one is my student, Dr. Ibrahim.
Oh, mashallah. So welcome all of you. Brother Rizwan, how are you? You are a philosopher.
We are good, sir.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Forgot to mention, Dr. Ibrahim. Actually, this student, some of them are not Muslim lah.
Yeah, it's also okay. Philosophy teach every person, and if you got this information before, then I put it also in the context which is more
Yes.
suitable because I taught all the Muslim. But it's all cases okay. That is the best of Malaysia.
Yes.
Mm.
Majmuk.
Yeah, but no, everybody is there.
Okay. Buka gambar. Buka ni. Buka kamera sekejap. Sekejap ya. Okay. Yang lain. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So we take picture ya. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So thank you all for listening until the end of the class, and thank you, Dr. Ibrahim Sugar, for the
Yeah, inshallah. Thank you
presentation.
again for invitation.
Inshallah, anything I will update through email.
Inshallah.
All the recording, the slide,
Okay.
the feedback from the students.
Inshallah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ibrahim.
Okay, see you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, so thank you for all. Okay, so we end our class for today. So Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,